I got loyalty, got loyalty inside my DNA. I got loyalty, got war and peace inside my DNA. I got power, poison, pain, and joy inside my DNA. I was born like this, it's born like this. Immaculate conception, I transform like this, perform like this. Without you, a new weapon, I don't contemplate. I meditate, then overcome. This that paper against the bed. This that I got loyalty inside my DNA.
Nestled in the Styrian mountains where the trees meet the sky and the echoes of legends still whisper through the pine. Welcome to Austria. The Red Bull Ring, fast-flowing and unforgiving, and it's a circuit that rewards bravery, punishes hesitation and demands perfection. 2 races down, 22 gladiators still standing, but momentum, that belongs to a few. A hometown hero on a mission, a comeback story that refuses to be rewritten, and a field of champions, each with something to prove, and no room left to wait. Last time out it was Byrne who done the paddock and Lennon rediscovered the fire, but Zach Swerda, let's take a breath. This is going to be magic.
It definitely is, Toby. It's good to be back in the booth as we're recovering from the crazy drama last time out. Of course, you had the Sin Staff drama and just taking your teammate as the golden rule. I'm pretty sure Josh Martin and Jack Big is going to have a hard talk about that. But we got a fresh new weekend. We are here, of course, at the famous Red Bull Ring. Notice the Austria Ring back in 1969. You had legends like James Hunt and Niki Lauda going through this full throttle. Renamed to the A1 Ring in the 1990s, it became a more technical and more tighter technical staple for the modern racing. But in 2011, it gained the wings of the Red Bull. And the key overtaking spots are going to be, of course, turn 1, turn 3, and turn 4. Turn 4 especially, it's going to be a lot of drama if guys are going to be going side by side. We've seen it in Formula 1. Of course, with Lewis Hamilton and Alexander Albon, respectively. Albon going into the dirt, but yeah, it's going to be lightning faster on this track. We could be looking at times in the 1 minute 20s, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be a good race, but I can't wait to see how this race turns out, Toby.
Of course, Jack Tolchard has a lot to consider today, picking up that 10-place grid penalty for breaking that golden rule with his teammate, and qualifying has been his ace in the hole all season, so let's see what he can do from that penalty today. But it was not much in qualifying. He qualified P13 on the row, and that starts in 22 and last, alongside the reigning champion Anderson. NAN Nissan struggling around this circuit, only good enough for 20 and 19. Jonathan Guerrero lines up P18, following Kevin Jacobs, an All-American next row. Christian Vrazlov's struggles continue in the AIC DHL. He's 16th, alongside the disappointed Spencer in 15th. Ed Cantwell was fast in Queensland, hasn't refound that pace yet, qualifies 14th alongside McDonnell. Then Craig Evans, P12, will be a bit of a lacklustre result for him considering how he finished last time out. Joshua Wood lands at P10, and last week's winner, Toby Byrne, can only muster P9 today. Tom McDonnell line up in P8 alongside Gareth Lennon. He'll be looking for more today. Christopher Pettersson, a season best qualifying, lines him up P6 alongside Zach Swerda, breaking into the top 5 for the first time. Reinhard Ecker, hometown boy, qualifies his best position of P4 alongside Josh Martin, looking for redemption. And then it's Marcus Townend taking his first pole position alongside Colin McAllister, who finally finds some form. And this is Marcus Townend's first ever pole position in the ISR AIC and his highest grid qualifying position since season 5 in Tuscany, where he went on to win that race in Mugello. So he will be looking for repeat fortunes of the same as we look at the hometown man. But nevertheless, it's time to hold your breath. It's time to grab the popcorn, because round 3 of the AIC season 6 begins now. And this is the Red Bull Ring, and this is going to be magic. Lining up on the grid, 5 red lights begin. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. McAllister on the left, Townend on the right. And it's lights out and away they go. And who gets the better start? It looks like Townend just streaking ahead there into turn number 1. And he's cleared McAllister. An absolutely awesome and perfect start for the Brit alongside the Scotsman. And then Reinhard Ecker looking to make some positions off the line. The hometown hero, Nigel Mansell, said being the home driver gives you around 5 tenths per lap boost. and let's see if that works for him today. He's already passed Josh Martin as we thunder into turn number 2. Can Martin respond? Looking to the inside line, nothing doing, and Ericsson, sorry, not Ericsson, the man wearing the Ericsson-inspired helmet, Pettersson, is going up the inside of Zach Swader and makes the move up into the top 5, and he looks like he's actually got the drive to go up the inside of Josh Martin. Fantastic start from Christopher Pettersson, and we said, Zach, that Nemesis Racing have been looking to rediscover the fire that powered them to the Season 4 Championship, and could Pettersson be the man to do it today? He looks like he's gone wide as Josh Martin, and Pettersson up into the top 4.
A good start from Pettersson, but an even better start from Talon, and it looks like he's gaining almost a second gap to McAllister as we're taking a look at McAllister's teammate, Gareth Lennon in P7 currently. So a clean start for all of these guys as we're checking through the field now. Alexander Beer going to make a move right there on his compatriot, Josh Wood, it looks like here, going through the field. But yeah, great start for Talon and an even better start for McAllister as well. Clean start from the boys as we're riding on with Tom McDonald on the McDonald Brothers cars. But yeah, the hometown boy, Reinhard Eckert, as we see Craig Evans going to try to make some moves on one of the McDonald's cars. Actually, he's got both the McDonald's cars. He's going to be awfully cheesed off that Big Mac. Oh, contact! Well, there you go. There's the buns with the Big Mac, at least at the McDonald's. But that's not going to be how Craig Evans is going to be looking as we're already recovering. But just bad, I don't know what happened there. It just looked like they were all trying to go. He's like, yeah, McDonald's not entirely pleased with Evans at the moment. So unfortunate, you know, the woes continue for Craig Evans as well. He's going to end up all the way at the back of the field, Toby.
So McAllister putting some early pressure onto Marcus Townend coming in to the long straight down into turn number 3, and the JR One Day Turners getting a little bit feisty there, and even feistier is this big gaggle of cars as Callum Spencer making a move on Ed Cantwell, and there's some rivalry and history between these two, isn't there? So side by side they will go down into turn number 3. Is Spencer able to do anything? He's got the drag alongside the inside, but Ed Cantwell looks like he's found a second drive almost, going around the outside as we have an incident under investigation. Callum Spencer to the inside, is he going to make the move? And he does. He pushes Ed Cantwell out onto the dirty stuff and gets the move done, and that first lap will be thing, and we have a virtual safety car coming into effect. Josh Martin is off in the gravel.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, Josh Martin has had some bad luck last time with his teammate, of course, but this week it looks like to be on its own. But yeah, that's very interesting as we are under the VSC, so everybody's going to have to slow down to a respectable delta to please the stewards here. So no overtaking. The field is definitely, of course, frozen as we're on board now with the hometown hero Reinhard Eckert in P3. So a good outing so far. As we're taking a look now, the VSC is going to be ending here. So here we go. Hopefully to get a good run on McAllister through into turn 1 as we get the jump now on board with the Austrian hometown boy. Going to try to be patient. You can get a good run up here into turn 1, but obviously coming under the VSC, you're not going to have that good momentum, but you can definitely have some run-ins up here at turn number 3, as we've seen many times in Formula 1, most notably recently with, of course, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen. I don't know if Eckert's going to be close enough to get a move done. He's definitely going to be right on the back of the gearbox of the Scotsman, but he's not going to have anything done. But we have one more attempt as we go down the straight, but seems to be pulling a gap right now, about half a second behind, at least. We're looking to a full second as we're taking a look now at Zach Swader in P6 for the NLR, making a comeback to the season after a sabbatical season off. So let's take a look at the start, actually. We noticed that obviously all the top 3 guys had a good start. Townend just a slightly better start than McAllister, so he gets a nice jump. As we go into turn number 1, McAllister's going to line in right behind Townend. He goes a little bit wide, has a little bit of an issue going on at the curb end, and that just allows, you know, Marcus to gain quite a bit of a gap, and that's how he fooled almost a second. But here's what we want to see here. Here's Josh Martin. Let's see what happens here. Going into turn number 4, he just goes out wide into the dirt, and that looked like when he was going to overtake with Christopher Pettersson, and we don't know how he ended up into the grass. As we're taking a look now at Craig Evans to see the incident that he had. He had a big of an incident with the McDonald's cars, going into the penultimate corner, inside of one of them, and going into the last corner, he cuts it too much to the inside, hits one of the McDonald's brothers cars, and that just ended up right him into the guardrail. So not a very good weekend for Craig Evans. That's going to definitely be looking at by the stewards, an unsafe release, and it looked like he cut in front of somebody. Yep, big damage on the front end. Just look at the steering wheel of that. Let's take a look at the Tom's car on board. A little bit wide, slow. He was a little bit slow coming out of the corner. I guess he was just seeing what Craig was going to do, and they just collided in the last corner and just shoots Craig off into the guardrail. But yeah, Craig looked like he had an unsafe release rejoining the track, Toby, so definitely the stewards are going to be looking at that one extra close, even though he's got some damage on the car.
Yeah, and Tom gave him so much room. There was so much room for available there, and he just clipped the curve and spearheaded into the side. So that's all on Craig Evans for me. Josh Martin, we wanted to see what happened here. So everything looks normal. No one's around him. The next guy in the rearview mirror is quite far away, and coming into... Oh, wow. Yeah, just both double fronts locked. He claims something broke on the car, and it definitely looks strange. It didn't look like a normal mistake. It just looked like he went to brake and slow down, and the car was having none of it. This will give us a good idea from the perspective of the car behind, Gareth Lennon. And what we're looking out for here is some sparks or smoke or anything that can maybe give us an indication. And there, did you just see that tiny little spark flew off of the front right there? I think something definitely broke upon braking for Martin. Very unlucky, and he was looking to undo the misfortunes of Manfield in New Zealand, and it's not going to happen. A mechanical failure has taken him out, and Colin McAllister has made a mistake by the looks of things, and he's surrendered a position to Christopher Pedersen and Reinhard Ecker. Disastrous for the Scotsman, as we have a no further action coming in. Is this for the Craig Evans and McDonnell incident? It is a lap 1 incident involving multiple cars, so it will be, and I'm assuming that's because Craig has sort of ended his own race with that severe damage. He's running around 7 tenths off the back of Blum, so he's still there, but the tyre wear he's going to have from the car constantly trying to pull right is going to be crazy. That'll affect him later on, I'm sure. So here we go. Tom McDonnell is going to do the same thing. He's gone up the inside of Townend. No, sorry, not Townend, that's Byrne, and he's done the same thing and taken himself out, and that's caused an absolute medley of cars to come flying down the start finish straight. Craig McDonnell looking to take advantage of his brother here and go up the inside and become the lead McDonnell leading car. We have the 2 JSRs in formation right behind them, and it's Callum Spencer looking to make a move. He gets an excellent drive up the inside of Tom McDonnell, and he's actually lost a little bit on the exit there, so he'll have to tuck back into the slipstream. But Callum Spencer is not the man to give up. He's looking to the outside, and he's going to go up the inside. Sells to dummy to Tom McDonnell. Can he send it up the inside? Yes, he can. There's the fire from the Welshman that this season's been missing up into P11, and McDonnell makes a critical mistake and wastes his opportunity, Zach, on their medium compounded tyres, and someone like Callum Spencer does not need a second invitation.
Yeah, shades of Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen back in 2019. He made that move excellent into the overtaking corner of turn number 3. But yeah, if there's anybody that's going to be very a threat in overtaking, or especially around here, that is definitely the Welshman of Colin Spencer. But going back to Colin McAllister, and he's also, as well, Toby, I believe he surrendered a place not only to, those two, but his own teammate, Gareth Lennon, now advances up into P4 ahead of Colin McAllister. So whatever happened with Colin there, he not only surrendered a lot of places to other people, he also surrendered a teammate to Gareth Lennon. So hopefully he can recover good, but he's also coming under threat to Zach Swader now as he goes a little bit wide, and so this will give Zach a great opportunity to down the front straightaway of Colin McAllister, and it looks like Joshua Wood is going to come into the action, as well as his own teammate, Andrew Revere. This is going to be a gaggle of cars going into turn 1, and Zach's going to have the inside line. Hopefully don't cut it too short, son. That's how you do it. They're all keeping it clean, but you got 3 Americans and 1 Scottish, so definitely a bit of a, unforeseen circumstance for Colin McAllister, not feeling very comfortable with 3 Americans around him. Hopefully they can know how to turn right. So, but it seems like everything's keeping it clean so far. As we're taking a look at Colin Spencer, going to make a move on to Toby Byrne. And this is an old rivalry that goes back into the years of the making here. But, 2 former teammates as well as other Gran Turismo leagues, enemies here, but friends. Obviously, a lot of titles between those 2. They show everyone how to make the racing good and fun to watch. As we're look at this, Reinhard Eckert somehow, Toby, somewhere has made the move on Marcus Townend. The hometown boy is your race leader now.
The fairy tale is in the writing. We haven't seen it. Pettersson putting some pressure on Townend as well, but Townend somewhere has lost a position to the hometown man. Pettersson now looks up the inside. This is a disastrous lap for Townend because he could be falling to the back of the podium here. He's squeezed out wide. Very aggressive stuff from Christopher. Very clinical, and he moves up into second place to begin chasing down Ecker to try deny that fairy tale, and it'll be a fairy tale all the same for Nemesis to be on the podium after so long, but something disastrous for Townend. That lap has been, and another virtual safety car being deployed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Virtual safety car.
Yeah, it looks like Zach had somewhere. Just seeing what happened here. Hopefully we get some replays at some point to see what happened. It looked like Zach may have lost it. Everybody seems to be losing it at the last corner for some reason. There's just seems to be not a lot of grip. I mean, we have so much horsepower, Toby, but a lot less downforce. As calm down, guys. It's VSC. Everybody's still racing at this point. The stewards are going to be questioning about what's going on at the moment. But it seems like the VSC is going to be ending, so don't know what's going to happen with Joe. Yep, here we go.
Virtual
VSC
safety car
ending.
Green flag.
So here we go. Green flag back away, and Colin Spencer's going to make the jump on the McDonald's guys. That's going to be overtaking around the outside. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the grip, but he somehow found the grip. And so but he's definitely side by side. The McDonald car is not going to give that place up very easily, but I think it's, if Spencer can be able to get the brake and get the dummy and switch back on him, he could be able to get the move done, as they're going to be side by side. I talked about it in the pre-race, cars go side by side into turn 4. It's very, very instances of having somebody go off, but they're still going at it, still side by side. Very good, clean driving for both of these, but it looks like Spencer's going to take the move onto that one. So yeah, very chaotic restart to this VSC, Toby. So I just wonder what exactly happened that caused all that, and obviously the scrap everybody showing off at the end of that VSC.
Looking at the grid, Colin McAllister is in P21 in pit lane, so he's even made a pit stop. Oh, Spencer locks up! Spencer locks up and goes straight on after making some fantastic moves to get him in this position, and now Ed Cantwell tries a desperation move we've seen so many times, and it does not work out. Kevin Jacobs having his own similar issues, and the virtual safety car will get called immediately. And what's that age-old saying, Zach, of safety cars breed safety cars, and that is well and truly happening here on a very busy day in the steward's office in Austria. And we can see these two, the rivalry stems so deep, and it is continuing once more here today. And this is so many times we've seen with the virtual safety car, it feels less a virtual safety car, more a rolling start. And this, Zach, is this how Reinhard Ecker got the job done on Town End?
Yeah, here we go, going into turn number 3. He's going to sell it and gives a bit of a tap, but I mean, Townend stayed on the track, so a bit of an aggressive move, but he didn't force Marcus Townend off. So it's it's just say, hey, I'm here, this is my hometown, you better be ready for a fight, because I'm going to give it all I've got to make the home crowd proud of me, and to show he goes down to the inside of turn number 4, gonna get it done. Obviously Marcus is going to be forced out wide, so I mean, a bit of aggressive, but, Townend stayed on board on the track. So let's see what happened with Colin here. We've got Zach in front of him. So was there contact between these two? And it looks like there is, as we've got a steward's investigation of these two. We see Zach go a little bit out wide, and that allows Colin to get in. But yeah, Colin, everybody seems to be trying to make that last second plunge into the final corner. And we've seen so many times, Toby, it's just not going to work. But it seems like everybody's just getting too aggressive and too antsy as we're on board with Kevin Jacobs. Let's see what his view of this is. As we're into the penultimate corner here, he's slowing down, seeing all the chaos unfolded. This could be, I think this is one of the VSCs. Oh no, this is actually where, he just goes off wide as well. So he happened there, and it looks like, did he ever get it going? Because I don't know if he did, but if not, that's going to be Kevin Jacobs out of this race. On board with Christian Raslov now, his view of all the chaos unfolding. Everybody just seems to check up. I guess they're thinking something's going to happen, which they're right to do so. And there's Kevin right there. Oh, Christian Raslov barely escaped with a clean front wing on that one. He just did get the car stopped. So fantastic reactions from Raslov. And, there was a bit of a slip. And here we go, VSC. Ending as you do. We're going to get another good launch here. We're on board with Tom McDonald. We see 2 cars going side by side into this one. That's going to be Ed Cantwell and Colin Spencer. And Spencer on the outside. And here comes Pedersen out of nowhere. So, yeah, chaos. But as you said, VSCs seem to be creating VSCs as well, because we just can't get a clean restart. It sort of reminds me of the most recent Indy 500 with all the safety cars. Nobody can get a clean start, and as soon as you do, somebody's already off again, as Jonathan Guerrero is now going to make some moves to try to follow in behind his teammate. So he's going to try to give some support if he can, but yeah, already crazy as we got a penalty. Let's see what this stems. This could be the McAllister-Swader incident. Yeah, 3-place grid penalty for Colin McAllister causing an incident. We got another one here, and that's going to be somebody, I think I just saw one of the NAR cars, Toby, I think was off in the gravel somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was Olav Odven who was back in pit lane. And just to give you guys an update on where we are with the race strategy, Christopher Pettersson and Reinhard Ecker both pitted under the latest virtual safety car. And interestingly, Zach, as you can see in front of us here, that is Christopher Pettersson. So Pettersson has made the jump on Ecker in pit lane, and depending on what Townend gets up to, all of this will be helping Townend, you would imagine. Will be potentially our net race leader, but we are green once again. And can we finally have a clean restart, gentlemen? Let us see. A few cars into pit lane for their pit stop of the day, but yes, Pettersson, Ecker, both pitting under virtual safety car. They will now be trying to make their way through this traffic and try and get into a position where Marcus Townend will come out behind them. You can see Townend is leading from around 0.5 of a second to Gareth Lennon, so that's where the battle is today. It is Lennon versus Townend versus Pettersson versus Eka, and Pettersson looking like he wants to get on with it quite early. Christian Vrazilov looking to make a position on Jack Tolchard, who's currently up into P11 from last on the grid, trying to overcome his penalty that he received in New Zealand, but he's not making much inroads today, and it's a disappointing day for Simstaff, and a day where they came into this race leading the Constructors' Championship, so it will be interesting to see if Jack Tolchard can squander anything in terms of points here today. And this is very frustrating stuff, Zach, for Christopher Pettersson and Reinhard Ecker, who are stuck behind a battling Jonathan Carrera and Tom McDonnell. They'll be worried that Gareth Lennon and Marcus Townend are making that progress, and it looks like Townend has actually gone behind Lennon. I don't know if Townend's made a mistake somewhere or if he's come into pit lane already, but it looks like Lennon into the lead and into the pits then for Gareth Lennon. So this will be telling to see where they're going to come out in comparison to Pettersson and Ecker.
Yeah, and of course Marcus followed Gareth as well, just to note as well. So this is going to be, primed stops for these boys are going to be coming through as we're taking a look at the stops of Gareth Lennon. Let's see right now. There we go. There is looking like Gareth Lennon is going to come out first. And so Townend somewhere is still in the pit. So a very slow stop for Marcus Townend here. But yeah, we got both the McDonald's coming into the top 5, so everybody going to be shuffling around now. But they got to watch these guys coming out of the pits. And not sure we have any incidents coming out of the pits. But it looks like Garrett's going to rejoin good. But Andrew Prevere, I just noticed, is now in the lead. But I'm not sure if he's made any stops throughout all these VSCs. So he could be a potential, depending on what his strategy is and how the rest of this race, comes, as Christopher Pettersson is going to go back around Gareth Lennon, but he's going to get the run out the outside. So a lot of shuffling, a lot of craziness, and it's hard to keep up with, but that's just how the racing goes. But so far, unless the strategy, pays off and we have any more or not have any more VSCs, this definitely won't be the finishing order as we're taking a look on board now with Christopher Pettersson.
Yeah, I believe that Pavia, both McDonald's and Carrera are yet to pit this race, so assuming that they can't make the zero stop work today, which I don't think they will, it's quite high tyre wear today as we've seen, so I think this could mean Gareth Lennon has actually come out from nowhere to, I believe he started P6 today? He's come out in P5 currently, but that could be the net race lead, and he has the hard compound of tyre on, so tyre wear's not going to be an issue to the end of the race. Let's get confirmation of this then. Is Pavia into pit lane, the other McDonnell of Tom is in, and Craig's in, and Carrera's in, so now the picture is crystal clear. This is your battle for the race victory here in Austria. Gareth Lennon, Christopher Pettersson and Reinhard Ecker all in the same shot. Gareth Lennon and Christopher Pettersson looking for their first race victories in quite some time. Pettersson has not won a race since season number 3. Gareth Lennon has not won a race since season number 4, and Reinhard Ecker has never won a race, let alone even finished on the podium. And what a location for him to potentially get his first podium or first victory today. Let's not rule him out just yet. The hometown man versus the experience of Pettersson and the comeback story of Gareth Lennon.
If I was Reinhard Ecker, I would just hope and pray that those two start fighting it. Let them battle each other, because you can benefit on any incident that they make. So I would not be pushing if I was Reinhard Ecker. I would let them fight, let them scrap it out and gain up and pick up the pieces to a potential race win. But this is going to be interesting. And if I'm Pettersson, I'm thinking you got... Oh, no! What has happened to Pettersson? He is off. That's going to allow Eckert. He had a massive lockup, a massive lockup for Pettersson, and that's going to allow Reinhard Eckert to go chasing after Lennon, but unfortunate, just missed his braking point, and Christopher Pettersson had a massive lockup, and that's going to be hurting his tires as well toward the end of the race. So I don't know if he's going to have anything left to gain back into second, but we'll just have to see how that plays out. But yeah, just a massive lockup for Pettersson, and a very rare mistake for Pettersson. He doesn't really make a lot of those mistakes, but it's definitely cost him on this one, Toby.
We've said the Nemesis team have struggled with this car all season, and is that another example of the limitations of the car Nemesis has had to deal with in the opening 2 rounds, or is that just a very uncharacteristic mistake under pressure for Pettersson, who's battling for the podium for the first time in so long? We flick back to the battle that's also occurring from P7 to P9. It's McDonnell, Swader and Byrne all looking to score some solid points on a day where perhaps their teammates have not had the best days. Townend is up in P4 but has potentially squandered today's race victory. Swader has had a teammate who's gone for a crash, and McDonnell has somehow found himself as the leading of the McDonnell cars. Ecker up to 0.7 of a second to Gareth Lennon. 2 laps to go. We're on board with Zach Swader to see if he can do anything with Craig McDonnell ahead. Nothing on this occasion, just playing it a little bit safer, looking for the better exit. Does he get it? Doesn't appear like he gets the better exit there. Craig McDonnell might be safe for another lap here, but Ecker certainly closing the distance on Gareth Lennon.
Yeah, he definitely is. We're still on board looking at this battle between McDonald, Swader, and Byrne. Looking back, we got Spencer and Ed Cantwell and Douglas Anderson, our reigning champion. But we got the two West JSR cars right here at 10th and 11th. So I wonder if they're going to try to get Spencer ahead of him, or any team orders, they're just going to let them play to try to get Spencer into the points. And oh, Craig McDonald's off. Craig McDonald has had an off, so there goes that third car from the battle. A very, very tough day for the McDonald's boys today. We've had so many incidents with those guys, but with just 2 to go, we're looking at this battle right now. Reinhard Eckert, the hometown boy, is chasing Northern Ireland's Gareth Lennon for a potential first victory for Eckert, and of course, as you said, since season 4 for Gareth Lennon. But if these two start battling as well, as we take a look at the previous season 2, only Douglas Anderson has only won the only time that we have raced here at Austria. But if these two start battling, that will give Pedersen a chance to obviously make up the ground, as I don't know if Eckert's going to have a run. Let's just hope he can get the better run off here. Looks like he doesn't. It looked a little slow coming out of that corner, so that is not how you want to get the exit. But he's just going to try to be patient, try to chase him down, hit his lines, and just hope that Gareth makes a mistake somewhere, as we're looking back at this battle between Swader and Byrne, since McDonald actually, and look at the gag up between these guys. We got McDonald, Spencer, Carrero, and his Carrero has a slight lockup. Keeps it clean, though, and here comes his teammate, Colin Spencer, so battle for the ages right here, and here comes Ed Cantwell and even Douglas Anderson looking into the fray of this fight, as the West JSR cars are side by side. We don't want another incident like last time, boys, where you take your teammate out, keep it clean. You're both experienced. Colin Spencer's going to get a little bit wide, but it looks like he's going to concede the place to Carrero, so no team collisions this weekend, hopefully, and hopefully that stays that way. But very, very huge battle on multiple occasions. We got at least 2 to 3 different battles, but the main one that we're focused on, obviously, is, of course, the light of the lead with Lennon and Eckert.
Reinhard Eckert looking very strong out of the final corner as we head onto the final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix, looking to the inside. Reinhard Eckert to the inside. Can he do anything? Gareth Lennon spooked off the road. Gareth Lennon's gone wide. Where has he come back out? He's come out behind. The hometown hero has done it. Reinhard Eckert up into P1 on the final lap of the Grand Prix. Lennon now under significant pressure from that of Christopher Pettersson behind. Disaster. Gareth Lennon will be furious with that. Reinhard Eckert will be elated. Austria will be elated. Team Disconnect on for their first ever victory today will be elated if he can bring this home. Of course, still many corners left of this very short circuit, but it will feel like he's doing a lap of the Nordschleife for Reinhard Eckert, looking to get his first victory to seal the fairy tale today in Austria, the first victory in his home race, and I believe he will be one of the only few drivers, an elite club of racers, to win their home Grand Prix in the ISR AIC today, if he can pull this off. And he's pulling away. Look at the gap, 1.1 Reinhard Eckert to Gareth Lennon. Gareth Lennon spooked off the road, and he was a master of strategy today, was Gareth Lennon. He got to the P2 on the got to P1, sorry, on the virtual safety car, but the pace was always with Reinhard Eckert today. A masterful climb from P4 to P1 to write the fairy tale of winning your first race in your home venue. Reinhard Eckert to the line, wins the Austrian Grand Prix.
What a drive from Reinhard Eckert. He was very aggressive, kept it clean on most parts, but I can tell you one thing, there's no better feeling than winning on your home soil. And I can tell you, Gareth Lennon, like you said, is going to be absolutely furious with that. But, you know, that's just racing. He overreacted, I think, to Eckert making the overtake into turn number 1, and that's what sealed the deal. But shout out to Christopher Pettersson as well. Nemesis finally getting on the podium after so long as well. He's going to help that team tremendously, so hopefully they can get the momentum pushing forward up there. But obviously, what a drive from Reinhard Eckert to win in your home Grand Prix.
To take your first victory is special. To do it at your home circuit, nothing quite like it. Reinhard Eckert potentially setting a record that we may never see broken again in the ISR AIC. Takes P1 today, Christopher Pettersson. A story of what could have been, showing his pace. He comes home in P3 and the fastest lap to boot. A good haul of points from so far a pointless Nemesis Racing so far this season. Townend will be disappointed to only finish P4 after qualifying on his first pole position. And then a great day in the office for JR1 Daytona, taking a 5 and a 6. Sweder holds off Byrne for P7 and 8, and then Craig McDonald comes home with P9, and it's John of Guerrero just edging out his teammate of Callum Spencer to take the final points in an inter-team scrap for West JSR. Reinhard Ecker has done some magic here today, as that P4 to P1 is a feat in itself. This was a chaotic race none the same, so to keep your level head throughout that, keep your head cool when everyone else is losing theirs, and let's not forget he had his moments. He was jumped in the pit stops by Christopher Pettersson as we look to the second half of the grid. Ed Cantwell finishes P12 ahead of Douglas Anderson, who climbs from 21 to 13, so not bad. Jack Tolchak cannot overcome that penalty, and it's a disastrous day for Simstaff Racing as a result of that. Colin McAllister, Martin and Jacobs, as well as Odvan, are our DNFs for today. But yes, he had his moments. He was undercut in the pit lane under virtual safety car by Christopher Pettersson, but he was able to keep his head cool when Pettersson obviously got a bit overambitious and lost that position. And then again, Gareth Lennon made that ultimate mistake that cost him the lead. So it was the story of being the perfect driver today, and Jack Tolchard still remains P1 in the championship on 30 points. But Gareth Lennon, despite not winning today, Zach, he ties for the championship lead. He's only 1 point ahead of Toby Byrne, and then he's only 4 points down to a tied Tom McDonald and now Reinhard Ecker, who's only a point ahead of Marcus Townend. So this championship is incredibly close.
Yeah, it's incredibly close, but we still got a few races left to go. This is only race 3, and so now the question is who's going to start breaking out as we get toward the mid part of the season. But yeah, an incredible drive from Reinhard Eckert. He showed the talent that he's got, and he wanted to do well in front of his hometown fans. So it was a great drive for him. And of course, he capitalized. He capitalized on the few mistakes that happened, especially with Pettersson. And then he obviously forced Gareth into his mistake. And sometimes that's all it takes. You force and put the pressure on somebody, they'll make the mistake, and you capitalize. Let's take a look at the rest of the standings right here. Olaf Ottman, Zach Sweder tied on points with 12 points. Craig McDonald, Colin Spencer, and Andrew Previer, the rest throughout the field. And the only person not to score points so far is, of course, Philip Blum. So hopefully he can bounce back and try to score some points to help that out. But of course, the reigning champion, Douglas Anderson, only 2 points. Not a very good showing for the reigning champion, Toby.
Absolutely not. The reigning champion really struggling to get started this season. Kevin Jacobs, season 4 champion, also struggling to get started. And Colin McAllister, what a shame. He qualified P2 here today, just had that accident with Sweder, and I believe picked up a free place grid penalty for that as well. So he will look to come back next time in Germany. Beechwood Team RN then, comfortably leading the championship, 10 points ahead of a successful day for Team Disconnect. Mac and Motorsport are tied on 36, just a point ahead of Simstaff, who failed to score any points today. CGM Motorsport, with Gareth Lennon's performances as of late, bounce up into P5, and then it's JR1 Daytona 2 points behind, who are a single point ahead of JSR, 7 points ahead of Northern Lights, and then Christopher Pettersson finally getting Nemesis Racing on the board and up into P9. But brilliant news that now every team has scored points this season, Zach, which is something we had to wait a long time for in season number 5, so very happy day for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, definitely, and especially if you're Beechwood right now, you're starting to gain a comfortable lead. Had a bit of an off day this weekend, but hopefully they can bounce back. But I think the biggest runners right now with the score points that this weekend was, of course, JR1 Daytona, and of course a few others. So definitely the haul coming this weekend. But obviously we still got a whole heck of a rest of the season, Toby. It's only going to get better from here.
Reinhard Ecker absolutely stuns in front of his home crowd to take a fairy tale victory. Round number 3 of the ISR AIC is complete, and next time we run off to Germany for the Lauschwitz Ring to see if we can complete with the craziness that was here today at the Red Bull Ring, although I think it might be a little bit difficult. Thank you so much to everybody watching at home. Thank you for Zach for joining me in the box, and until next time, we'll see you then. Goodbye.